Hi, welcome back. I'm Tom Norris, and today we're going to look at staircase design. So almost every layout plan you do for any kind of project is going to involve some sort of sketch for the staircase. And what I notice on the drawings that I happen to see done by loads of other people is sometimes the staircase is really poor or misrepresented or is not really in keeping with what it should be. So I'm just going to quickly run by how I generally do staircases, and it might be a good idea to just follow through with us. So here as an example, this is a recent drawing I've done, and I've depicted the staircase, traditional Victorian house. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly scan one. So that's another representation which I popped in there. So, when you're looking at doing drawings for a staircase, I mean, where do you do them or how do you do them? What tools do you use? So I'm going to give you a quick glimpse of what I do, and let's see how we move from there. So if I draw a line that says wall, and let's assume this is a corridor. Let's just box it off there for a minute. And so we know what we're doing. Right, so normally when I'm doing a measured survey, I'll always take the distance here to the bottom of the stairs. So let's assume that that's this tread here, or this one there. So I'll always take that measurement so I can kind of place the staircase in the right place. When it comes to the hallway, I generally measure from the center of the newel post, and that gives me a better representation. Obviously I have photographs to tell me what size newel post and so on. So let me just make the top of the newel post, and to do that I'm going to get a little box and I'm going to tab 100. So that's the top of my newel post to a point. Now incidentally, and I'm a bit naughty because I didn't say, I'm using TurboCAD 220 Deluxe and I'm in a metric template, so when I say 100 it's 100 mil, etc. So now I'm just going to show you how I normally do this, and most of the newel posts will have a little ball at the top. So what we're going to do here is we're going to modify, and there we go. So there we go, that's fairly representative. Now, so let's assume, like in this case, generally about 850. So it could be 1,000, could be 750, depends on the staircase, but for the sake of argument, let's do 850 to the center. Let me just take that off here. Tab 850, and let's just check that. Yeah, 850. So now what I'll do is place this on here. Now, what size is a handrail? Anyone know? Handrail is generally handrail is generally about 70 mil. So if I do 35 and 35, I'm going to end up with a handrail that's smack bang in the middle and actually works. There you go, so that's your handrail and newel post. Now when it comes to the treads, on a decent staircase the treads would be around 240. So 240 going forward, yeah. And here how they meet and relate with the newel post varies, but I'll tell you what I normally do. I'll come in just a touch. What am I doing here? Yeah, I'm going to come in just a touch. For whatever reason, I think I've Hit the wrong little button there as usual. So now I'm going to go tab 30. Oh dear. Tab 30, where are you? Having great fun with this, isn't it? You're all screaming, saying, no, you've done this, you've done that. So we're going to cut this bit out, or not, shall leave it in. And sometimes the old TurboCAD plays up, so I'll do it a different way rather than fix the problem. So just bear with me, you'll see what I'm doing. Yeah, so I'm sure you've all experienced when you corrupted the file because you've hit the wrong button, and that occasionally happens. Okay, now this is going to be the first thread, so first thread's got to come out. Say, let's assume we're doing 240 then, tab minus 240, that's your thread. Well, looks big. Let's do a few other threads. Tab 240 and tab 240, tab 240. Just pull that up a bit and pull these in. So here you are, you're seeing me make all the mistakes that everyone else makes. So instead of giving you a nice plush finished project, I'm giving you one with loads of mistakes. Right, so what we do here is I need to get a little bit of a circle here going. Right, so D. Maybe you guys don't do it like this. Maybe you have a different way of doing it, but this is me. Right, so you can see now what I'm doing here. You can see generally how I do it, and it's not rocket science. So this is the measurement you got to be careful with, and when you're on site, measure generally from the center of the, because you know sometimes you measure from here, sometimes you measure from there, you're not quite sure. Just get into the habit of measuring from the center of the newel post, and then the photographs will tell you if it's half a thread here or one thread. So generally coming out to the edge or whatever way it is, the photographs will tell you what to do. But that's generally how I approach the stairs. But of course, if you're doing an elevation or if you're doing a section and doing a whole or a complete new staircase, then it's an entirely different matter. You're not just talking about drawing here and making it look nice. You're talking about having to do a drawing that's actually works, especially if it's a detailed drawing for the builders or for building control. So sometimes to check out stuff to see if it works, what I'll do is I'll bring in a third-party program or another app into the equation to help me do the calculation. So let's assume I was going to do a new staircase, and I'll show you an example of what I can do by bringing in another program here. So here I'm on what is it, Stairbox, and I'm going to use their stair builder. So now a stair builder, very, very simple. So let's make a few assumptions. So let's assume the height from the ground floor level to the top of the first floor, not to the ceiling height, but the top of the first floor. Let's assume it's 3 meters. So let's just change that. Bring it up a bit. I'm going the wrong way. That's typical. So we're after 3 meters. There we go. And the ceiling height, well, that's generally around 260, 270 less. So we're going to make that 730. 730. There you go. So now that's from the bottom to the top. That'll take you to the top of the stairs. So what we're going to do is we're going to put a turn on it. with a turn a few steps from the top. Let's assume we're going to do a right turn. So now we're going to do a winder like that. Yeah, but let's get more steps here. So to do that, what we'll do is treads before the turn. Well, let's do 9. See what I mean? So now what you have is you've got the distance and you've got the heights, got the width here. So in some cases, if you were doing a really cramped, you'd maybe add 2 winders. So like so, you could do like that. Well, let's, for the sake of argument, keep it a little bit more simpler. 1 tread. No, let's remove this one and put the treads before the turn at about 10. So now it's starting to resemble a fairly reasonable staircase. So now here on the turn we can change that, of course, as well. We can let's see, where is it? What are we looking at? Okay, winder type, quarter landing. See what I mean, how it does it? So if you do that, then obviously it's going to push out. If you have the space, maybe that's what you like. You're stuck for space, you'll do maybe a half. Or if you have loads of space and you want to turn it, or maybe you'll do a, let's see what a T-shape looks like. You ever see those? I'm sure you have, but let's go with the conventional triple winder. And you now have all the measurements you need from the point of view of ceiling height, floor height, the going 222. Well, we generally allow on a, this is on the actual tread, yeah, we generally allow around 240 if we can, but anywhere between 220 and 240 mil, and on the riser we generally allow about 180. So watch what happens if I bring it down to lower steps. Bring it down, and then obviously what happens is you're probably going to end up with an extra step. But if I was to bring this up, you'll have less steps, as you can see what happened. So you can play with it to get the best. Well, close to 180, that's what I'm looking for on a step. Don't forget, you have to meet building regs. You can't have big, gigantic steps, and these can't be too short. 220 is okay. I would like, if I could, to get 230, but that's going to impact on another step. If you have the space, fine, but that's a lovely, easy, free-flowing step. Now remember, the turn on this one is at the bottom. If you want to turn it at the top, then you just change the number of steps before the turn. So this is called Stairbox, and it's a really useful tool for young designers and architects to try to work out if the staircase is going to fit. You see we've used 865. Well, you can change the width of the staircase if you need to, because the width here is going to impact on this width. So if I change, let's assume the staircase here, if I want to make this a little shorter, 3188, I could try. So let's see, 3188, let's see if it changes. You see it does, because this changes. It's now reduced. So if I up it again to 8, let's assume I up it to 880, then this bit as well, in other words, this measurement is going to change, and this one a little as well, because it's going to be kept almost square. Yeah, so great little tool for working out your dimensions on the stairs, how many steps you need if you're on 187 on the riser, 230 going forward. If you're trying to fit something in that's a little bit just not working for you, you have parameters you can move. You can make that down to about 220. After that, stairs are getting a little bit small, as in the treads are getting a little bit small. And you can fool around also with the balustrades, different types. and the newel posts, etc., etc. But great little tool. And that one is Stair box, and I'm sure there's plenty like it. And incidentally, let me just remove the balustrade here for a second. Yeah, so what you can do after that, I'll give you a little example. So if I was to take a clip, I can just take this as an example, yeah? Well, I'm going to do it neater so that you can see exactly what I'm doing here. So that's my stairs. And I'm going to go to there, right? See, I'm saving it here now. And I'm going to import it into my TurboCAD. So bye-bye staircase. Now if we insert picture from file, and I go down to, I saved it in downloads. There you go. Now, it's about scaling. You know how to scale in a picture in TurboCAD. First off, when you bring it in, it'll automatically scale and keep its size. But when you go to change it, then this is what happens. It's so that's not good. So what you need to do is, before you move the picture or resize the picture, is you hit keep aspect ratio, which means that if I change the size on the width, it changes on the length and so on. So if I was building a stairs now, and I wanted to demonstrate to the client that something fitted, let me just see what the measurement is on this. Yeah, this is 900. Linear dimension, don't worry about that. That flashed up at 900 wide, so it's perhaps a little bit wide. But again, you can reduce these down, sit them into your drawings, and make sure, or what I normally do, if I'm doing a staircase, and it's not just cosmetic, I need to demonstrate the sizing of the staircase, is I'll go into a third party like Stairbox and actually create the staircase, and then I'll just do a cutout of it and pop it into the drawing beside the layout plans and make references to it. So that's really helpful then for whoever's got the drawing. Incidentally, you've got a picture here. I'm sure you know how to take this black line away. Let me just, in case you don't, just go on here. There you go. So now you can get the sizing to match up. You know how to keep the aspect ratio. You can get the sizing to match up with your drawing, and just by tweaking it, pop it in. If you don't do that, just put it on the side of your drawing, and it'll be really helpful for the builder. And again, you can use a little section for the floor to ceiling heights and showing how how it'll actually work. I think on Stairbox, and I didn't show you, you can actually look at it from a section viewpoint as well, the same staircase you designed. So good luck with that. Hopefully you've learned something about making it easier to implement staircases into your drawings, and be able to create something like that for your client, to be able to, that's something else we add, by the way. If we're putting in a new staircase and we have an idea about something contemporary with balustrades or something, or wire, steel wire, then what we'll normally do is do the layouts, pop a little bit of this on the side for the staircase, and then add a photo or two. And again, it demonstrates, and the client can see where we're aiming with the staircase and what we're trying to achieve. But that's what we do. Jazzes up the drawings, communicates what we're trying to do, and that's what it's all about. Okay, hopefully you enjoyed the lesson. Don't forget, I could use a subscriber every now and then, so if you could do that, that would be great. But if not, at least do the like button. Thanks very much. See you on the next video.